Hey everybody, it's Monica with your best female figure, and today I'm back with the 180 turnaround giant booty circuit inspired by Brian Hahn's Assets of Death circuit from his ebook, The List. Some of these exercises may look familiar to you because they are also featured in my book, Love Your Booty, and they are going to help you get that sexy, curvy, burlesque body that I'm always talking about. Don't have a copy of the PDF and all the other PDFs that I'm going to be giving away over the holidays. Be sure to subscribe to YBFF News and you can start getting all this stuff, including full-length workouts that you can mute the sound of and do and just follow along. So let's get started with this giant circuit. You're going to go into a lunge position and you're just going to elevate up and down, and then you're going to twist, and then you're going to side bend. So this is going to open up the hip flexors, and it's also going to put some tension in the glute muscles. So, that activates those glutes, and it also activates all your leg muscles and stretches your calves a little bit as well. And this is going to help you get a much more efficient workout. So you're going to be able to perform your exercises with better technique, get through the workout a lot faster, which is important during the busy holiday season. And then afterwards, you're not going to be as sore. Now, when I was filming this, I made the mistake of skipping a very important warm-up move, which is the alternating Russian lunge, lateral lunge that goes really deep. You've seen that in actually just the last video that I uploaded. So I actually filmed it at the very end. I was filming with two cameras. One of them died halfway through the filming, and I kept the other one going. And then I actually refilmed the second portion of the circuit. So I actually went through the circuit once and then through half of the circuit again. But you only need to go through this one time. That's the beauty of a giant circuit, is that you only go through it one time. Okay, so now we've moved on from those 3 warm-up exercises to those skydiver hip extensions with the legs bent, and then you're going to support the upper body on the ball, and you're going to do these glute kickbacks. Feel free to use ankle weights if you like. I find them, really not that helpful. I get a much better glute contraction from, just doing them with my own body weight. And remember, on the next move, you actually have to move your lower abs off the ball. I filmed this move before. I can't remember what circuit it was, but you really have to make sure that from the belly button down, everything is hanging, but the very top of your body is supported. That is really going to get your glutes working a lot harder on this lizard exercise, which is the lizard, I can't even remember what it's called, but this exercise is not easy if you're on the ball correctly. Of course, if you don't have a ball, you can use a couch or a bench. I think I had filmed a video of this originally where I was actually doing this on one of the couches in my living room. It's a really fun move, and it really, targets those glute muscles. Once you're finished with all the ball stuff, you're going to move on to the mini band, hip extensions, hip circles, and you're going, all the exercises in this circuit, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, are 8 repetitions on each side, except for the last one. On that one, you're going to do 12 repetitions, and then you're going to be done. So use a band that feels moderately challenging. You don't want a band that is so hard to pull on that you're actually straining. You want to feel a nice glute contraction, but you definitely don't want to strain, the knees or the hips, or even, to be feeling like your low back is struggling. So a black band is moderately challenging. I think the red band, in my opinion, is the hardest of all the bands, depending on the brand as well. So some brands, the bands are not as, don't provide as much resistance as other bands. So make sure that you're, using bands that are a good quality. I got these particular ones at Target, and they turned out to be really nice. But the previous ones I had ordered from like a specialty, trainer shop for trainers, and I didn't like them as much. So you never know what you're gonna get with TheraBands. Fortunately, they're very cheap. So if you don't like a set you have, you can just buy another whole set for like $9 or $12. Now, once you're done with your mini band exercises, you're going to move on to these gliding disc combination. So you're going to do a lateral lunge and then you're going to reverse lunge. Make sure that you're going really deep and sitting into that heel of the supporting leg. You do not have to use dumbbells if you don't want to, or you can use heavier dumbbells if you want to. I've done this exercise with up to 15-pound dumbbells, which is pretty much my limit. You really start to feel your core being challenged, and it may be harder to focus on what's happening, with your glutes if you're having that much of a core challenge. So I like to stay in the moderate range. I'm using 5-pound dumbbells to film. Most of the time I will use two 10-pound dumbbells to do this. And there are various ways that you can do these gliding lunges. If the reverse lunge is kind of, not working for you anymore because you've been doing that for a long time like I have, then you can actually switch over to a curtsy lunge, or any other kind of overhead movement is going to add more of a challenge, as long as you're not overdoing it. So remember that gliding discs are already really unstable, so everything, inner thighs, thighs, outer thighs, butt, core is already working really hard. You don't really need to add a whole ton of weight when you use gliding discs, so just keep that in mind. It's not really going to make that huge of a difference if you're using, 8 pounds versus 16 pounds. So once you're done with this, you're going to move on to one of my favorite exercises. I think this is in various fitness plans, Best Female Figure fitness plans, and it's the tactical lunge. So you're just alternating, switching that weight under that front leg as you lunge from side to side. You can use a kettlebell, you can use sandbells. You've seen me do this exercise if you have my ebooks with a variety of equipment. It's very versatile, and notice how I'm just turning in a circle to show you guys different angles of this, so you don't have to do that when you're actually doing this workout. I'm just kind of showing you different angles. All right, now the next exercise is the infamous single leg deadlift. There are many ways that you can do this. You can use one weight, you can use two weights, you can add a knee in, you can add curl to overhead press, you can take all that out and just do the basic version with just your body weight. You could even do this holding a medicine ball. So, just think about all the different options that you have when it comes to this exercise. It's really effective for building your backside and also for strengthening your core set muscles. So all those deep abdominal muscles that, help to cinch in your waist and support your back. Get a really great workout with this. Obviously, sometimes people struggle with the flexibility aspect of this. If that's the case, just bend your knee a little bit more and maybe don't go as deep, and you'll get more mobility as you get stronger. All right, now the next exercise is an alternating shin box get up. So you're just basically twisting around into a seated twist, and then you're coming back up to standing. A lot of stuff gets worked in this exercise. If it bothers your hips to do a full turn like that, or your knees, then I'm going to show a version that you can do where you're just alternating from side to side, and you can even add a leap to it to make it more challenging. But again, it's up to you how you want to modify the exercises. Make sure that you're always doing everything in a way that is beneficial to your body. Now, the next exercise is going to be the traveling squat with leg lift, lateral leg lift. So this exercise is kind of interesting. I find that the lateral squat really works your glutes, and you don't really need that side leg lift to make the exercise more intense. It's kind of a fun thing to add, but a lot of times when I'm short on time, I just take that side kick out. And if I'm actually trying to work my core a little bit more and not, I'm more in a rush, then I actually add that jump at the top and bring that ball off the ground instead of doing that side kick. Either way, the exercise is going to get your heart rate up. It's going to help you target your glutes, legs, and core. You can also come all the way up to standing and kick, just like I'm doing here at the end. Again, you always have to adapt exercises to, your body and also to your energy level and your mood for that day. Don't ever think that just because you're watching any workout online, whether it's mine or somebody else's, that you have to do exactly what is shown in a video. All right, now the next exercise is the supine hip extension with a leg lower. Now you can either kick the leg up as you're coming up, or you can have the leg up already and then lower it down to the ground. The second version that you're seeing here is the harder version. The one where you actually kick the leg up as you're coming up is an easier way of doing it because that actually adds a little bit of momentum. This second version that you're watching really targets your glute and core because you have to hold that position as that leg dips down, and that destabilizes the exercise, making it more challenging. Now I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the lighting in the video has changed. So my camera died a few exercises before this one, and so that was the change. And actually the preview that I had filmed had a lot of effects in it because I was trying to compensate for all the different lighting changes that were going on throughout this workout. So anyways, now we're on to this next exercise, which is a reverse lunge. So you're starting from the bottom up. Knee has to be all the way on the floor, and that back foot is supported on a ball or any surface. If that ball is too slippery for you, then use a bench or some other surface. The main thing here though is get that knee to the floor every single time. It's a lot harder than it looks. Your supporting leg glute muscle has to work super hard to stabilize all that. So you may need to hang on to a wall at first until you get a little bit stronger on that exercise. Now we're going into this single leg down dog deep lunge. So you don't have to add the deep lunge if you don't want to. That's something that I've been doing lately because I'm trying to get more mobility in my hip flexors. You can just do the knee into the chest version that you've seen in other videos, and of course in all the fitness plans that I have. Again, adapt the exercise to your body, to your needs and your preferences. All right, and finally after this exercise we have the last exercise of the entire circuit, which is the weighted hip thrust. So you're going to lay with your upper back on a stability ball. Make sure that your legs are at an angle, and you're going to rest a weight on your hips, and then you're going to drop that butt to the floor, and you're going to elevate those hips by squeezing the glutes. Now that 20-pound sand bell that I am using is actually gotten too light for me. When I started doing this exercise, a 20-pound sand bell was incredibly hard. I used to struggle to get through the 12 reps of this, but now it's actually not that hard. So I'm adding more weight. So I'm actually, that medicine ball is 8 pounds, but normally I will add a 15-pound dumbbell. And I'm trying to figure out a way to add more weight to this exercise. So I'm maybe getting a weighted bar at some point, because this is really great for glute development. It's one of the best exercises that you can do for getting, a bigger booty. All right, so after every circuit, I always dance it out because I like to loosen up afterwards and stretch. So don't feel like you have to do this, but I want you guys to watch because I really don't care what people think of my dancing. I just like to have fun, and I like to, move my body in interesting ways. And after this goofy little dance that I'm doing, I'm going to show you the exercise that I skipped at the very beginning, which is the alternating lateral lunge with butt all the way to the floor. I incorporated it into my cool down because I realized at that point that I had missed an exercise, and I thought, oh no, I should just film it. Now what I'm doing here is these figure eights, which loosen up the hips. I don't know if you guys have the same problems that I do, but when I work my glutes with a circuit like this or any really intense circuit, my butt gets so tight, and then my hips and low back start bothering me. So this kind of thing really helps me to loosen up, and I'm more likely to do a longer, stretching session if I kind of dance it into it. So you don't you don't have to do all that. So here is the missing exercise. This would have been the fourth exercise of this giant circuit, and it's really great for opening up, the inner thighs and activating the glutes and also activating your core. And you can, support yourself by placing your hands on the ground. You can also do this exercise with your hands off the ground if you are that strong. I've tried it that way, and usually I don't feel that comfortable with it like that, so I actually do use my hands for support. So here I am doing hip circles to the music. I was just kind of having fun with this. And that's it. Afterwards, I'm going to stretch for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what my body tells me that it wants that day. You don't have to stretch that long if you don't have issues with, anything. So you can do a shorter stretching session. I like to dance around too when I'm stretching. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and that it has been helpful. I will be back in a couple of days with another great vlogmas circuit to help you get your sexy body for the holidays. Thank you so much for watching.